everyone. Good morning. I'm going to wait for my thumbs up to get started. Good morning. Good morning. If you don't have coffee, if you don't have paper, if you don't have a pen, grab it. Take notes on your computer. All right, y'all. It is 10 o'clock. Team, are we good? Drop me a thumbs up if I can start talking. Amazing. Welcome, 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 everybody. Hello, squirrels. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to be here with me. I'm Abigail Schondorf, and you are here for the You Don't Have a Consistency Problem webinar. So let me start by telling you why you're here, because I think I know. You registered for this webinar, seminar, teaching session because somewhere along the way, your voice disappeared and you're a little bit sick of it. It didn't disappear from your head. It's very loud in there, but it disappeared from your feed. You know exactly what you think. You just can't seem to say it in public. Once you got more traction, once you got more visibility, you stopped saying what you really think. So why am I saying that your content isn't the problem, your direction is? Well, because I'm making the claim that your direction disappeared because your voice disappeared. Your voice didn't disappear because you're inconsistent. And you're not inconsistent because your voice disappeared. Your voice and your consistency disappeared because your direction is undecided. That is my claim, and I'm going to spend the next 75 minutes showing you why that is my claim. Every single day that you don't decide, that your direction is undecided, publishing costs more than it should. Because every single piece of content that you're putting out could be contradictory to your message. You don't really know, because you don't really know what your direction is. You're rewriting posts in your mind, and you're editing posts over and over and over and over again, because you have to relitigate and renegotiate in your mind before you're allowed to press send. When you decide on the direction, the content is not a negotiation. It's just a very natural downstream of whatever the exact direction is. That is this whole session. So I'm going to show you 4 ways that this goes wrong. I'm going to give you the 4 moves that fix it when it goes wrong. And you're going to leave with your capacity score and your content score and a specific next step that's matched to that particular score. A housekeeping note, this is recorded, and the recording is going to go out to the registered parties. So if you're not here live, that's okay. I hope I'm catching you another time. And life happens. Don't beat yourself up. Take notes if you want, but you'll be getting the recording as well. Okay, ready? Cool. Let's talk about what you're not, probably. You're not lazy. Usually, generally speaking, when people are stuck, there's a good reason. So let's name where you're actually at right now. Hi, Holly. So number 1, you have too many ideas. There's too much stuff going on in your brain. There's too many ideas that are happening. And if you're like me, all of those ideas feel connected at any given time. You're like, no, this isn't a new idea. It's the same thing because blah, 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 blah. And you justify how this completely new direction is actually the exact same thing as you've been doing up until now. You have too many ideas. They are not all the same thing. They are all different versions or different ideas. You got to pick one. And this is the part that other people really don't have sympathy for. People without ideas, or people who generate ideas at, I guess, a more normal pace, think that having too many ideas is a good problem. But if you are a person who constantly has a lot of ideas, it can be very, very distracting. Tons and tons and tons of good ideas is not good. It's like going to a restaurant and you're rating the menu and you want to eat everything. It's really difficult to decide. There have to be like 3 things on the menu that you want to eat, and then you decide between those 3 things. If there's 10 things on the menu that sound equally good to you, you're going to be reading the menu for a while. 3 good options is worse than 1 good option, because 3 good options is a decision that you have to make every single day, all the time, over and over again. And when you're talking about your content, that's a problem, because I have to be consistent, right? Isn't that what they told me? Didn't they tell me that if I just put content out consistently, if I put out value content consistently, the people will come? Isn't that what they promised me? We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But right now, you're stuck. Why? You have too many ideas. Why else? You keep starting over. Anything that I am blaming you or accusing you of doing are things that I do myself, either actively or have done in the past, because it's literally the only way I learn anything is by doing it myself and by guinea pigging on my own poor team. You keep starting over with new offers and new angles and new funnels, because every new offer has a new angle. Every new angle needs a new funnel. Every new funnel might need like a slight redesign or some sort of way to make it fit in consistently across the board with everything else that you're doing. But like all the offers that you created and the things that are half built, none of them got shipped. If you're anything like me, you got your stuff to 80% done, and then that's where it sat for a while, because the last 20% is the consistency bit. It's the implementation bit. It's the stuff where things get hard. You didn't fail per se at any of the new angles or the new offers. You abandoned them at 70% or 80%, which is exactly the point where things stop being exciting and start being work. You didn't even have the opportunity to fail at the new direction you chose if you didn't see it through to completion. And there's a real asterisk here, because we fall victim to this very often. By we, I mean really smart, idea generating entrepreneur type people. We perceive the not completing of the project as failure data. The problem is that we're not measuring our metrics correctly to understand what it is that is failing within that data. It is failure data. It is failure data of the system that should be supporting your follow through. It is not failure data connected to the idea or to the offer itself, because no real people outside of your own head and the council of tiny yous that you keep in a conference table in your mind, nobody else has heard this idea. So you don't have any success or failure data that is objective. You will have data about yourself that you can then apply, but you don't have data about everyone else. And when we're selling things, we sell them to everyone else. We don't just sell them to ourselves. Close parentheses. So you have too many ideas. Because you have too many ideas, you keep starting over. You get excited by this thing and excited by that thing, excited by the other thing, and like everything is shiny. And excuse my neck, it's really hurting me. Everything is shiny and everything is distracting. So then what happens? Your content feels generic. And you know it feels generic, which is worse. It feels generic because, I claim, because you haven't decided what you sell or who you sell it to. So every post has to be vague enough to keep your options open. If I have too many ideas and I keep starting over and I have to put out content, then I'm going to put out the best content that I can, but it's based on 14 ideas that I haven't really taken through to completion. So I'm going to do the best I can with what I have, but the clarity is lacking. The piece that really feels like me, the thing that like hits really sharp, it's missing because I kept it generic because I don't really know what I'm talking about specifically exactly yet. That's not laziness. Laziness would be so much easier. It's the cost of being undecided in public. And my very dear mentor, Mitchell Levy calls it corporate incoherence. The opposite of corporate abundance, executive abundance, when everything flows and clarity flows and everyone knows what they're doing. They're happy to come to work. Problems get solved naturally. Synergy is happening. Money is coming. Executive abundance. The opposite of that is executive incoherence. People are silent. They don't share their ideas. They don't really know what's happening next. You don't know what's happening next. So everyone's just doing their best with what they can, and it all kind of comes out generic. So for you right now, which one is loudest? Feel free to drop in the chat or wherever you're at when you're reviewing the recording. If you're stuck, which one feels the most true for you? 1, you have too many ideas. 2, you keep starting over. Or 3, the content just feels generic and like blah. Drop me a 1, 2, or 3 in the chat. Let me know where you're at right now. 1, I have too many ideas. Like I just can't. My brain it's loud in here. 2, I keep starting over, right? I get to like 70%, 80% done and I start over. Or 3, your content feels just generic. Which one is loudest for you right now? Seeing some 3s. Generic feeling content. 2s, keep starting over. Feels generic. Where are we at? What is going on? No clarity happening. Too many ideas, but you're not really in charge of the content. Does the content happen the way you want it to? That like a downstream from your ideas? Beautiful. Where am I? Sorry, y'all. I forgot how to use technology for a hot second. I don't know where my screen is. There you are. Okay. So what do we do? Well, here's the problem. Saw all the reasons that were on the last slide. Those were just a couple, and they were pretty general. So what do I do about it? I don't know. It depends what's going on. And the real problem, like I said, what we've been told is to make more content, post more, show up more, be consistent, go live, post 5 times a day, post 7 times a day, post 36 times a day with a minimum of 42 hashtags, 11 of the hashtags relating to current events, and the remaining 34 of the hashtags relating to things that are in the generic vicinity of what you do. And if you do that, and also you pray to the moon every other full moon, then you'll be fine. Or whatever generic content advice people give. Just make more content. Just post more. Show up. Be consistent. If you keep being consistent, people will show up. Will they? I was really, really curious to find out. So that's what I did. I posted value content consistently for 4 years. And do you know what I found? That despite my content being extremely high value, every piece of content is pretty much high value. The people didn't come. Which is weird. Because if I'm posting 5 times a day, every day, and the content's value content and it's on brand, then why aren't they coming? The problem is that the instruction of just posting more, showing up more, being consistent is the wrong instruction. And it's the wrong instruction in a very, very, very specific way that matters and is often the reason that we get wrong direction for people from others. It treats output as the problem when output is the symptom. Okay, so what do I mean by that? The content is the output. That is what we need. Like, that's the deliverable that we need to get to in the end. System. It's the output of the thing is content. So what do I need to put into the thing to get content out the other end that's going to serve my purpose? If you tell me just create more content, then I'm just creating more content. But what did I put in the machine to get the content goodies out? Content is downstream of direction. If the direction is clear, the content is clear. When you don't know exactly what you sell, you don't know exactly who it's for, you don't know why it's finishable or valuable, then every post becomes a fresh negotiation with yourself. Should I say it? Does it fit? Are we there yet? Is it done? Is it shipped? Am I going to embarrass myself? Am I going to say things that I'm going to have to go back on? When you are creating content from a place of non-clarity, you're going to be in trouble. The other side of that is, if I say this, is it going to box me in? Is it going to limit me? Is it going to attract the wrong kind of clients? Is it even my thing anymore? Like, what am I doing? When I was trying to sell as a virtual assistant agency, I was a colossal failure at those kinds of sales for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't believe in the traditional virtual assistant agency model. So now my selling is always constantly trying to explain why someone else is doing it wrong. Puts me in a very negative space, competing for clients that already have an idea in their mind. So now I need to educate them, I need to argue with them, and I need to change their mind. I'm only cool with the educating piece. I don't like arguing, and I'm definitely not here to change your mind. Once it became more specific to ADHD, brilliant, visionary entrepreneurs, then it was easy. Because the direction is clear. Every time I open my mouth, I'm talking about something that has to do with our content somehow. The reason I'm having this webinar is so that my team has content to clip from, because I'm not going to be generating fresh content for them. The way I generate fresh content is like this. Hi, here's my face. This is me generating content. There's multiple decisions that need to be made before you've written a single sentence. And you're doing that at 7 a.m, like with coffee, and you haven't even eaten, or 2 a.m. or whatever it is that you're working. You haven't eaten anything. You're not like sitting down with a clear mind, strategically trying to put together a content plan that's going to surgically reach whoever you need to reach. I'm assuming here, but I've seen it 100 times over. And you're sitting there wondering, like, why is this content thing so freaking hard? Like, literally, there's content creators all over the place. How come they can do it and I can't do it? Everyone online says that all you need to do is take 20 minutes a day to post your content and you should be fine. Maybe they're lying. Or maybe it takes them 20 minutes because they already decided. and you're paying a tax that they're not paying. The way it looks in my team is I will come in with a new direction. Mine is that I'm always changing my mind. I don't call it changing my mind. I call it iterating. But we needed to establish with the team that when I come in with a new idea and I'm iterating on something, that doesn't automatically change the content direction. Why? Because if I automatically change the content direction every time I have a new idea, I'm going to kill them. They can't keep up with that. And also, like, what if I change my mind again in 2 days? So they have to redo all the work again. So the directive is anytime there's a shift in direction, we continue following through with our existing content direction till the end and then implement the new direction. Because I work with other people. It's not just me pivoting, right? There's a big difference. Imagine you're running a race and you need to pivot and turn back and go the other way. You pivot on your foot. And if you're agile and have strong ankles, you'll be fine. You'll turn around. What if you have to pivot and turn 180 degrees and you are running a 3-legged race with someone? So your 2 middle legs are tied together. You need to pivot and turn around. The faster you pivot, what's likely to happen? It's going to happen to me in my 3-legged race if I need to turn on a dime and go in the other direction. I'm going to fall. Probably on my face. Definitely, I'm going to bring the person down with me that I'm attached to. It's just what happens. Because when you have a team, when you have people working with you, any pivot that you needs to be calculated and intentional and deliberate. It's not just you and you anymore. I decided this. You can't do that when there's other people around you. I decided that we need to go from 5 pieces of content to 10 pieces of content. Cool decision, bro. Are you increasing your team's hours? Are you providing more content for us to generate from? Is there a new system that's going to allow us to do this? We make decisions and pivots and things all the time that are not intentional. We're changing direction constantly. If your content is a downstream of direction, and by content, I mean the way that you present yourself to the world in a consistent fashion, and your direction is changing, and you're turning quickly, and the people around you are falling, then your content is going to be a mess. And the world is maybe going to see it, but they're definitely going to feel it. So let's talk about the 4 ways that it goes wrong inside your head when you're writing your own content. The first failure is the filter. You sand yourself off. You like dust yourself off before you publish. You want everything to look really, really nice. Really, really just your best version of yourself. But what this looks like in real life is that you take 9 minutes to like write your post or record your video or whatever. And it flows. It just like comes out. It's just the words are coming out of your fingers. And then you read it through and it's good. It's got a spine. It sounds like a real person. And then you spend the next 45 minutes editing it. And we end up sucking the soul, sucking the life out of everything that was us when we first wrote, in favor of it being more polished, in favor of it sounding whatever, however you have decided that you want other people to perceive you. So like you soften the opening, you add a qualifier, you take out the line that gave you like the in your stomach. By the way, that line is always the best line. Keep it. It's the best one. You add things like, in my experience, or for some people, right? Or like results may vary for you. Liability, corporate America, like covering your ass type speech. You had an opinion. You had something to say. You wrote it. It flowed. And then you spent an hour taking your whole self out of it. And it costs you twice, right? The first cost is you. Masking your own voice is freaking exhausting. It's not a small task. And it's not a small tax. It's heavy to hide who you are. What are they going to think of me? Are they going to understand? Are they going to whatever, literally whatever. We have a finite amount of capacity. When we're drawing from our capacity, we're drawing from the bank of capacity that we have to cover everything. So it draws from the limit of capacity and bandwidth that you have, that you need to run your business, to take the calls, to make the decisions, to be with your family, to be a person. So you spend your best cognitive hours masking yourself and making yourself sound like someone else. And then you wonder why you're exhausted and you have nothing left in the afternoon. And then the second cost is the content. A sanitized voice is forgettable. Forgettable never compounds. In order for something to compound, I have to remember what you said last time. Because then when I'm scrolling through your content, I'm like, oh, there's that crazy bitch who says all that stuff about ADHD. Why do I know that? Because I remember with your face and that last time you were crazy and you said something about ADHD, and like now it can compound. Because I have the base layer of the first thing I saw about you. It's stuck in my mind. I see something else. It adds on top and builds an impression and adds and adds and adds. Forgettable content is not sticky. And that's the part that hurts, is that you have a year of like good, safe, professional posts, consistent, and it builds nothing. Absolutely nothing. You could delete all of it and it would not make a difference. Nobody would notice. And part of you already knows that. I know that I could go back and delete about 2 years of Allisto content. I know that. But I like to keep it there because I like for people to see the brand journey and the evolution. For me, that's a point of pride. Why? It's part of my content strategy. Because I like taking people from the beginning, it doesn't matter where you're at, from the beginning, and getting you to the next phase for you, and then the next phase, and the next phase, and the next phase. And I'm not ashamed of that. Hey, this is where I started. By the way, with the person who's currently my creative lead. This is when she started as a baby graphic designer who literally didn't know anything. She was like, I've heard of Canva before. And then she taught herself Adobe. She taught herself video editing. She taught herself podcasting. She taught herself animation. She taught herself every single thing that we've needed up until this point. Because the person was the right person in the right place. And I'm not ashamed of the journey that it takes for us to get there. But nobody would miss that content outside of the context of this journey. And if you know that it doesn't matter, nobody's looking at your content, it doesn't make a difference if you posted it or not, then generating new content or posting additional content feels pointless. Like, why would I do that? That seems really dumb. So just a quick check-in. Has anyone here deleted a line or added in a word to soften something this month because you were just like too much? Type yes in the chat. Drop me a yes in that chat if that was you. You softened something, you added a word, you added like an in my opinion, you added, some people might think that the line that you were softening was the point. You threw away the asset and kept the packaging. If I'm saying something to you because I wanted to slap you in the face, I needed to slap you in the face. Otherwise, it's not doing what I wanted it to do. If I don't want it to slap you in the face, why did it come out that way in the first place? There's a reason. There's an energy behind it. And sometimes we women, and by sometimes, I literally mean all the time, we women soften ourselves unnecessarily in order to avoid the tantrums of the people around us. Their big feeling temper tantrums is not your problem. And I know that it's just like easier to make myself smaller. It's easier to just erase myself. It's easier for me to just take the brunt of it. It's just easier this way. Really? Say word. I don't believe you. So it depends on, so we have the clients here. Who are the clients that we're interacting with? Well, why are your clients and not someone else's clients? Honest doesn't have to mean messy. Honest means messy for me because what I'm trying to do is get people to embrace themselves however they are. Because my claim is that I'm not less smart or less good at my job because of how I'm presenting myself. Case in point, I told my team, hey, I was about to get dressed and put on makeup, but I'm not going to because I'm here to prove a point. We've been here for 31 minutes so far. Has anyone been bothered by my ponytail? Has anything I said been less intelligent, less well thought out, less thoughtful, less relevant because I'm not wearing mascara? This content is for the person who needs to hear it. A client for a reason. And guess what? I am not even an independent contractor. I am a business, meaning I'm a business contracting with a business or with a company. And I have to make myself some sort of way so that you what? So that you have the privileges of getting services from me. You want my service? Come get my service. You think someone else can do it better? Go have them do it better. It costs me energy to constantly defend myself in front of somebody who thinks that I'm less smart because I'm not wearing makeup. I went to a conference last week. In the conference last week, I had about 20 conversations. 18 of them were with, let's say, 10 of them were with men, 10 of them were with women. Consistently, in 100% of the conversations I had with men, they said to me, wow, you're like really smart. Or some version of that fuckery. Wow, you're like really smart. Wow, yeah, I know. I'm like really smart. Yeah, I am like really smart. And what I do well, I do really well. And by the way, I have never met a single female business owner who is not as excellent as me. Every female business owner that I personally know is doing what she is doing the way she is doing it because she is excellent at it. And she's not pushing out stuff that she's not awesome at. So follow the logic with me. If I think that I am the best at what I do, and I am genuinely providing the best that I possibly can, and somebody comes to me and tells me that they're not willing to look at my best because XYZ, I tell them to suck it. Now, there's lots of more professional ways to say suck it than to say suck it, right? Like see infinite TikTok creators. They have many, many creative ways of saying suck it in corporate professional. What is not an option is saying, yeah, you're right. I should be nicer. I should smile more. I should do my hair. I should put on makeup. Yeah, you're right. I do need to be this way in order for you to hear me. No. And what I'm definitely not going to do is in my own business build myself a cage. Hell no. Why would I do that? I might as well go work for corporate. It's a lot more consistent. I know I'm going to get a check every week. Why would I do this? If I want to be locked into something, I'm going to go lock myself into somebody else's vision, somebody else's company with a consistent freaking paycheck. If I'm doing this, I'm doing it my way. And your brand voice is part of that. Specifically if you're neurodivergent or you're just somebody who like learned early that you were kind of a lot. Yeah, the real me is kind of a lot. Not everyone can handle it. Oh, wow. You already know how to do this. How to mask, how to read the room, how to soften the edges, how to present the version of you that's not going to cost you anything. It's going to be safe. You've run that program your whole life and you got really good at it because it works and it protects you. Then you started a business and your business inherited the same habit. And somewhere you just decided that you aren't sellable. Me, the way I am right now, is objectionable. I need to be more profesh. I need to be more polished. I need to be more blah, blah, blah. You don't need to be shit. You don't. You get to make your own rules in your own business. And then, like, we decide that there's a version of ourselves that's fine for our friends and it's fine for like real people, but it's not fine for our clients. And then we spend months proving ourselves right? So every time you cut something out, you take out that line, you add in that thing, you soften the whatever, you make it more professional, you make it more polished, you make it more whatever. You're again collecting false evidence for yourself. See, that wasn't professional. See, that would have been too much. See. No one is seeing anything here except for you. You made it up inside your head. You manufactured a situation, then you manufactured input into that situation, then you manufactured a conclusion from the data that you collected based on the manufacturing of your manufactured situation. You never tested the real thing. You can't be rejected for something that you never published. That's safe. But also, like, you never published it. Now, here's the thing I need you to hear, okay? Nobody did this to you. Okay? And that's good news, in my opinion. I know it sounds harsh, but really it's the opposite, right? Like, if a market did this to you, or an algorithm did this to you, or a coach did this to you, or like that's just the way it is, you'd be stuck. Because you can't change any of that. That's all external. But you chose the mask. You collected the data. You collected the perceived data based on the perceived situations, put it into your perceived funnel to reinforce whatever it is that you already decided about yourself. You did that. And when you do something, you can undo it. So it was built for a good reason at the time. I needed to protect myself. When I'm in school, I have to be XYZ, otherwise I get sent to the principal's office. When I am in corporate, I have to be ABC, otherwise I'll get fired. When I'm in my toxic relationship, I have to smile and speak softly, otherwise he'll hit me in the face. We keep ourselves safe in the situations that we're in based on the resources and skills that we have at the time. That doesn't mean that the situation is normal or okay. And if the situation is entirely, you don't need anybody's permission, of your own making, the story that you tell yourself about yourself and what you know. I'm not going to tell you to just like be authentic, because that's just as useless as saying just post more content. Okay, like be yourself is not a strategy. Just be yourself. Some people like to be a lot less of themselves. You're not those some people. The people that I'm talking to right now, if you are watching my webinar and you are 39 minutes in, you are not somebody who needs to be less of yourself. You're just not. The reason you can't take the mask off yet is that you don't know what you're being yourself about. I'm going to clarify that. You can't have a strong voice about something undecided. Nobody can. And that's not a courage problem. It's a clarity problem. So if I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet and tell you that this is the price, take it or leave it, it means that I have to be completely and fully convinced in the value of what I'm doing. In order to be completely and fully convinced in the value of what I'm doing as a small business owner who runs my own thing, I have to be completely and totally convinced in the value of myself. And one thing I'm never going to do is argue with somebody why I'm valuable if they can't see it. Got a little heated there. Thanks for walking through that fire with me, y'all. Let's talk about the cycle. It's a little bit less painful to talk about than the masking. Okay, you know this. You know this shape. This is hyperfocus, the boom bust cycle. Hyperfocus comes, it comes whenever it comes. You didn't summon it, but it's there, and now you're producing. 30 posts, a whole funnel, you redesign your website, you put together a landing page, you like make all this organized stuff, you're running through it, and you have everything, and it is awesome, and it is really good work, and it is done fast, and then the hyperfocus goes away. It just like disappears, and everything stops. It doesn't slow down. It stops completely. And then the second phase starts, which is the guilt. You're constantly thinking about your content and thinking about it and producing none of it. That gap, that delta between thinking about the thing and not producing the thing, this whole gap in between is exhaustion. Thinking about it and I'm not producing it, this is depleted energy and exhaustion. You can not think about it and not produce it, or you can think about it and produce it. You can't think about it and not produce it, because then you're just leaving all the open loops for you to be tired, and you feel guilty. You're thinking about it, you're not posting. And then hyperfocus comes back. Yay, content is fun again, and we start over. But where do we start over at week 10? Do we pick up where we left off at week 3? Hell no. We start again on something new, because literally 10 weeks has passed between then, and I'm not even thinking about the same things that I was thinking about then. I have something completely and totally new on my mind. And then everyone's going to tell you that it's a consistency or a discipline problem, excuse me, but it's not a discipline problem. Discipline is not what's missing. Look at this. Trying to tell me this isn't disciplined or this isn't disciplined? Clearly there's discipline. That's more output that you've produced in these collective 4 weeks than most people would produce in the whole 3 months. The problem is an unsupported system. So if your capacity is variable, and it's genuinely variable, and you build a business that only works around you at your peak functioning, then every crash is going to reset the momentum. And you start fresh each time. You're not failing to be consistent. You're succeeding at an inconsistent pattern that your business doesn't have the systems to absorb. So the fix is not have more discipline here, because that's not going to happen. You're going to change yourself as a person. Stop trying to change yourself. Stop it. All the advice that comes in, if you just did this, if only this, if whatever this, you just need more discipline, you just need more motivation, you just need more blah, 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 is someone trying to sell you something to change you, to change who you are. There is nothing external that can change who you are. It comes from within, no matter how cheesy that is. Even if the spark comes from outside, wow, that's really smart. Hey, I should really consider that. The synthesis and the processing happens inside you. It's all here. So anyone telling you, you need more blah, 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 and then you'll just be able to change yourself so that you'll be the best kind of version of yourself, is trying to sell you something that is marketing. So you don't need to change who you are here. You need a system that's going to sustain consistency over here and over here. It's okay to hop, man, go for it. These clients we call our hair clients, not H-A-I-R, H-A-R-E, our hairs. They run and then they take a nap. They run and then they take a nap. They run and then they take a nap. So I know that what we're supposed to learn from that story is that slow and steady wins the race. That story is a little silly, because like, what race are we even racing? The hare could win the race if it was a relay race. If it was, I don't know, he had worked in spurts and taken like more frequent breaks. If he had somebody who could wake him up when he got tired. If he had some buddies who could run alongside him. We just need a system. We don't need to be completely different people. So that leads us to what the system actually is. Like, what do we really even need? We need a pipeline. Literally, I don't know how to use the internet today. Okay. Right now, we're failing because you're the pipeline. You capture the content, meaning like that it's your ideas. You capture the ideas, you draft them, then you polish them, then you schedule them, then you publish them, then you repurpose them. There's not any single stage there that's hard. The thing about them that's hard is that they're in series, meaning this has to happen before this, before this, before this, before this, before this. You cannot capture an idea and publish it. You cannot publish something that hasn't been drafted. You can't repurpose a draft that hasn't been polished. It has to go in this order. And if it has to go in that order, it means you can't multitask these tasks. They have to go one at a time. The problem is, what else is going on in your life this week? The whole line moves at whatever stage you're worst at this week, right? So it means that your output isn't capped at your best week, it's capped at your worst one. So the question that I really need to ask myself is, on the week that I'm sick, or the week that my brain just takes a full vacation, what happens to this? This is the part that most people try to solve wrong. They try to get faster at each one of these stages. If I just do it faster, or I do it with AI, or I do it with whatever, I find some sort of shortcut that's going to enable me to shorten the process, then I'll be fine. But no, you won't be, because they still need to happen in order. What fixes it is distributed ownership. Can somebody else polish your ideas? Can somebody else schedule? Can someone publish? Can someone else repurpose? Almost nobody else can capture the ideas. They have to be yours. And hold on to that because we're going to come back to that in a second. All 4 of these challenges that we talked about trace back to one thing. They all get easier the moment that your direction is decided. When you know exactly what you sell and who you sell it to, there's nothing to filter. The strong take isn't a risk anymore because you're not trying to keep every door open. You already picked the door that you want to be in. I talk to ADHD entrepreneurs. Generally speaking, we like to cuss. Therefore, I cuss freely in my content. Whatever. If you're here, you probably talk like I do. And I am interested in having a world where more people are just themselves because it will save us on a lot of bullshit. There's nothing to mask because you're not performing generalized competence for a general audience. You're being specific in front of specific people, and specificity is the thing that a mask can't survive. This is who I am. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I talk about all the time. You can't confront me with anything that I told you already. And then the boom bust cycle stops resetting you every time. It doesn't stop you in your tracks as abruptly because you're not restarting a new idea every time you come back. You're returning to the same one. This is what we do. This is what we always do. If I disappeared for 365 days, nobody on my team would need a single additional bit of input from me to be able to generate and create content. Because we know exactly what we do. We know exactly what we sell. We know exactly who we sell it to. I am not the one on any of my content streams at all. That's my whole argument, is you don't have a consistency problem. You have a decision problem. And consistency is what it looks like from the outside. Internal clarity is interpreted as consistency externally. Internal turmoil is interpreted as lack of consistency or confusion externally. Cool. So what do I do about it? Couple of things. Filter. Filter. You have a ton of good ideas. You will always generate new good ideas. Run all of your ideas through a filter. Is this useful? Is this energizing? Is this finishable? Something useful. Does someone actually want this thing or not? Not would somebody find it interesting, by the way. Does someone need it? Energizing. Does it light me up? Am I excited about it? Do I love talking about it? If it doesn't light you up, you're going to abandon it eventually, so you might as well abandon it now. And is it finishable? When I say finishable, I mean, can you complete a minimum viable version in the next 12 weeks? Most ideas fail one of those 3 filters. That's the point. We want them to. We want most ideas to fail. You're looking for the idea that passes all 3, and there's usually fewer than you think, which is, again, it's a relief. It's a good thing. The second thing is position. Your second move is your positioning. Write the only if statement. Okay, so that sounds like, I'm the best choice for insert person here who wants the thing that they want without the thing that they don't want. I am the best choice for ADHD entrepreneurs who want to stop privately, who want to regain control of their time without drowning consistently. I am the best choice for virtual assistants who want to become exemplary, high-charging distant assistants without being subjected to toxic workplaces. That last clause, the without, that's where the money is. And it's the one that everyone skips. Because like, what? I don't want to threaten you. Threaten me, man. Tell me what's going to happen if I don't. I help creatives who want consistent income. That doesn't tell me anything. I help creatives who want consistent income without losing creative freedom. Okay. Now I know who you're talking to. I know who's going to read that and who's going to feel like I've been reading their diary. Right? I'm the best choice for people who are smarter than everyone else, who want full control over their business without having to listen to stupid opinions. The person who reads that knows exactly who they are. And if it's not you, then you're like, what? No worries. It's not for you. Keep it pushing. Okay. Design. Choose the delivery shape that fits your worst week. You're sick. Your kids are sick. Your brain is soup. What is the design that fits you? That's going to enable you to be sustainable. The question is not which way is best. The question is what matches your actual rhythm. And then do the capacity math, okay? Because this is where good intentions are stress tested so you can understand whether you're going to embarrass yourself in the future or whether you actually have the capacity for what you're about to take on. So the capacity math, ready? It's math. Delivery hours, how many hours does it take me to deliver on the product or on the service? Plus communication hours, how much time do I spend talking to this person? Plus admin hours, how much time do I have to spend on admin for this particular client? Divided by the amount of time you have to focus, your focus windows. That's the amount of clients you can take. So for example, it takes me 5 hours to deliver, another 2 hours of communication, and another 1 hour of admin. That's 8 hours. And I have 4 focus blocks. So I can take 2 clients. Easy peasy. It's math. The math doesn't math, you can't do it. Math is math. Then prove. Prove is really, really important. It's also the stage where I personally always stopped myself. I'm like, oh, I don't know if they're ready to see the thing yet. And I don't blah, 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 blah. Run a 10-day beta to real people before you finish the project, before you overbuild. If you send out 10 invites, you'll get 3 yeses. From those 3 yeses, you'll get 1 testimonial. That's the goal. 10 invites, 3 yeses, 1 testimonial. Collect the proof as you deliver, not after you're already there, because once you arrive, you check it off your list and you move on. Or alternatively, you never check it off your list and then you feel like you never arrived, and then you refine it and you open it up again and blah, blah, blah. Proof beats perfection every single time. And beta proof beats a single beautiful sales page every time. It doesn't matter how beautiful your sales page is. So I promised you that the content would write itself, right? And I told you also that this is the way that I'm producing content. And I also told you that the way that I show up on my content is intentional because I want to be super consistent across all of my content, no matter what. And what I'm being consistent at is being radically, authentically myself and leading with my brain and with my thoughts and not with how other people are going to perceive me. Because if you perceive me based on what you see with your eyeballs and not what you hear with your ears, you're an idiot. And if you like, that's just I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry. You're an idiot. So I told you that the content would write itself. Here's the mechanism. Once you've decided on your idea, you know what you're talking about. Once you have one decided offer, this is what the business does. This is what we sell. Then you have a pillar idea. Okay. This is the one idea. Every pillar idea splits 4 different ways. The 4 M's. Cool. Myth, method, mistake, and a mini win. The myth is what are people believing that keeps them stuck. The method is your unique way of doing it. The mistake is where people get it wrong. And the mini win is something small that you can try today. Angles becomes 3 formats: a short video, a carousel or a text or a quote grab, and a story or an email. So 4 times 12, 4 times 3 is 12 pieces of content from one idea that you decided. That way, for every pillar idea that you have, you consistently have 4 angles and 3 pieces of content from each of those angles, giving you 12 unique pieces of content every time you have an idea. It comes from the same thing. So how do you like generate it? There's a bunch of different ways. I'm doing it on a webinar right now. You can record your calls. You can write blog posts. You can write long form newsletters. You can do podcasts, all kinds of things. But in the meantime, let's score you right this second. 1 point for each honest yes, okay? Be honest with yourself, not the you that you wish you were, not the aspirational you, the real, actual you right here, right now, in real time, okay? I can name the idea I'm shipping this quarter out loud in a sentence. The idea that I'm shipping this quarter at Alisto is the Distant Assistant Academy to train virtual assistants into world-class distant assistants. That is what I am shipping. That is what we are talking about. I can say exactly who it's for and the result they get. This is for virtual assistants who would like to be distant assistants. The result that they get is a full training that allows them to communicate better, operationalize their thinking, thereby charging more per hour than they were able to before the training. So what that sounds like is an only if statement is for virtual assistants who want to make more money without giving up control over their individuality. Okay. My offer is deliverable on my work week, on my worst week, not just my best. I can disappear for any amount of time, and it won't make a difference to my content. It'll make a difference to the fact that my team is sad without me and they miss me and they like seeing my face every day, but it won't make a difference to my content. Number 4, I've tested it with real people, not just in private, not just in my mind, not just like confirming my own ideas and telling myself that I'm smart. Real people outside of myself, outside of my family, definitely not yes men. I only go to my family when I want people to say no to me a lot. So my family is not a good example of that because they're very analytical. There's a reason I am this way. But if you are a person whose family is going to try and spare your feelings, don't go to your family. And then number 5 is my content flows from that offer instead of me guessing what to post. Drop me your number in the chat right now. 1 point for each honest answer, for each honest yes. So I can give myself I'm going to say I can give myself a 4, because I would love to look at this more in terms of the delivery of the offer, because the content is deliverable on my worst week, but the offer itself is not. So I'm at a 4. I still need to sharpen a little bit. If you're at a 0 or up to a 2, the problem is direction. Feel free to drop your number in the chat. But we're all in here. 3 to 4, you're close. You've got a direction. It's just not sharp enough to fully defend yet. And 5, great, go for it. Let's go. There's nothing to be waiting for. Cool. So for people who know what they need, for my 0s and 2s, or my 3s and 4s, there's a path for you. If you scored a 0 to 2, start with the audit. It's the lightest thing. We look at where your direction is stuck. We find out whether it's a positioning problem or a capacity problem. You can do that on your own. It has a free resource. It's available in places on our website, or if you want it, ask us and we will send it to you. If you scored a 3 or 4, awesome. Let's design the fix and figure out what it is. That's the strategy call. Okay, so we map your offer against your real business data. We take a look at what's actually going on in your business, what is indicating to be making money, what has traction, what is increasing, and what doesn't. It's a working session. It's not a pitch. It's not like a discovery call that I'm calling something fancy. It's a working session where we do the work on the call together and we figure out your strategy in real time. I can also tell you that this price, this $750 price, is disappearing at the end of 2026, if not earlier. There is so much value in that specific roadmap. It literally gives you everything that you need from the point that you're at right now and reverse engineering how you get to your end goal and your vision. And for people who have trouble with their direction or with defending their direction or with explaining their direction, this is a necessity. You can't explain it because you don't know it. You don't know it because you're in it. You have all this data and all this stuff swirling around you. We need an external analysis. We need to synthesize what this is so we can figure out how to move forward. And if you scored a 5, well, beans. You need capacity. If you don't have enough capacity, let's hire you some capacity. Mini teams, full teams, individual assistants, hourly banks based on what you need, when you need it, the amount that you need. If you have all of the direction and you don't have the traction, you're missing the capacity. Cool. Yeah, come talk to me because like you should. I'm like really smart. A bunch of guys at a conference told me. So if you don't want to believe me, you can believe them. They were all shocked. If you are ready for clarity and you feel like you're so freaking close, book the freaking strategy call. Just book it. It's $750. It's not like the world's largest investment, but it will give you all the clarity that you need. And if you're not ready yet and you want to start with something free, cool. We always have a free resource for you. We always have a DIY version for you. Our resources are on our website as well. They are also on Gumroad, I think. You can find them in the links on our YouTube channel and across our blogs. There is always a free resource for you if you are looking to DIY this. So if you're looking to just start, cool, take the workbook. It has 15 steps. You can do it in like one sitting if you're able to sit for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. It is built for one sitting. It is built for a hyperfocus brain for a short block. Do it. Do the workbook. Turn your idea into something that's sellable, that is packageable within 12 weeks without burning out. That's the claim. That's what the workbook helps you to do. Ready? We're wrapping up. The content was never the problem. You are not the problem. You are not inconsistent. You are not undisciplined. You are not bad at marketing. You are undecided. And in public, when we're undecided, what we do is we become decided. We look for clarity. It's not easy, but it is necessary. And then the rest follows. Again, it doesn't follow easily. I'm not telling you that like, just do this and you'll be fine. No, everything that's worth effort takes effort. Everything that's worth it takes the effort that it takes. You are not broken. The system is broken, and the demands that we place on ourselves are unreasonable. You can make marketing out of absolutely anything. You can make marketing from out of exactly who you are. without changing a single thing about yourself, and you will have clients. And more importantly, the longer that you're out here not being exactly who you are, the more you will continue to attract based on whatever it is that you're putting out into the world. And if you are attracting people who exhaust you, who demand things from you that you wouldn't demand from yourself, who don't see your value, who need you to be a particular way before they're willing to interact with you, maybe you're attracting the wrong people for yourself. Because if your clients annoy you, why are they your clients? Maybe annoy is not correct for you. When I'm like out of alignment, I feel just deep annoyance. And when I'm in alignment, I feel super satisfied. And by the way, the people who are my clients are the people who everyone else thinks are too annoying to work with. And their clients are the people I consider too annoying to work with. I get to attract the most awesome people who want to work with me by being me. If I'm being someone else and then people come in the door and then I start being me, what's with the bait and switch? Woo, that's a big B. What's with the bait and switch? Like, you can't just change your mind on me. I picked you based on who you appear to be. Nobody can ever be confused about who I am. Because on the podcast and on the webinars and on the short clips and in person and face to face and on the phone and in text message, I sound exactly the same. Always. And my value, look at this gigantic carpenter bee. It's so big. It's like this big. And my value is not determined by how much makeup I'm wearing, how professional I am, how distracted I got. I'm smart because I'm smart. And you can't take it away from me. What you can do is stop listening. That is your prerogative. You are allowed to do that. Go somewhere else. You don't have to be here. This is my business. You don't even need to say that, ladies. You can just be that. Let them repel themselves. Work with the people you want to work with because you're the best at what you do. And if you're not the best at what you do, go become the best at what you do. Clarity opens doors to being brave. I know myself so clearly. You can't tell me shit about myself. You can't tell me anything about me that I don't know. And if you tell me something about myself that's not true, I'm gonna tell you that it's not true. Well, actually, I'm probably not going to tell you that's not true. I'm probably going to walk away and then go create content about it, about why it's not true. Because I no longer want to talk to that person who's misjudging me. I want to go talk to somebody else who might be in the same situation as me so that I can tell them, you don't have to justify that with an answer. You can walk away. And I know that it is hard to walk away from money. Yes, it is hard to walk away from money. It's a lot harder to remain under somebody else's control and under their manipulation because they're the ones with the money. Be careful where you put your power and who you allow to have a say in your life. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for your questions, for your participation. Catch the replay. Follow us at alistova.com, avhd.com. Watch the YouTube channel, listen to the podcast. If you're not sick of me yet, go to my TikTok. I rant about all kinds of wild shit there. Are you curious about my political opinions? You can go to my TikTok and find out what they are. I want to hear from you where you're struggling, where you got stuck. If you're ready for a strategy call, let's go. I'm ready to meet you. I'm ready to hear you. I'm ready to see your vision and get it on paper and roadmap it. If you're ready for a little bit more support and you want to expand your capacity, we have lots of ways to expand your capacity with executive assistants, with mini teams, with full teams, and with hourly banks if your existing virtual assistant just needs a little bit of extra support. In the meantime, y'all, happy Wednesday. I'm going to go rest my tongue for the next 45 minutes because I have a podcast, which you should definitely check out. We are meeting with Dr. Fred, the undoctor, today, talking about why medication is destroying you. I don't know if I'm going to agree or disagree, but tune in later to find out. And in the meantime, squirrels, thank you so much. You are the best you that you can be. You're just the best, just because you are who you are. And that is awesome. And the more you are, the more people can can leave you behind or stick with you, and vice versa. Thank you, and I will see you all next time. Bye, squirrels.